Call it to order.
Yeah, there it is.
We'll call this meeting of the St. Bernard Parish School Board to order for a special meeting. We'll ask Superintendent Oche to lead us in prayer as we get started.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening with the purpose of asking your blessings as we make decisions that are in the best interests of our community. Guide us in the direction that you would have us go and give us the wisdom we need to ensure a brighter and more promising future for our children. Thank you for the blessing we receive as a school district, and continue to watch over us as a school board family as we begin preparations for the holidays. These things we ask in your name.
Amen.
Mr. England, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Superintendent Oche, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Acevedo, here. Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Egan, Mr. England, Mrs. Lemoyne, Mrs. Dysart,
Here.
Dr. Kraft,
Here.
Dr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Long,
Here.
Mr. Nikosha,
Here.
Mr. Warner, not with us.
Okay.
Dr. Kraft,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion at this time that we move into executive session to discuss the superintendent's evaluation as mandated by the state that we do yearly, and I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
We need a second. Second, Mr. England. All in favor of going into the executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll go into executive session. I believe we'll go into one of the conference rooms for this executive session. Okay? Let's come back out of the executive session. I need a motion to come out of executive session. Motion by Ms. Acevedo, second by Ms. Dysart. All in favor of coming out of the executive session, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. So the superintendent's evaluation was great. As usual, she got an excellent evaluation for all the work she's done for the St. Bernard Parish School District. We appreciate her efforts, her dedication, and her commitment, and we'll ask Mr. England now to give us the results and a recommendation for moving forward.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft. As we were in the executive session, we did have a excellent evaluation of Ms. Foche, and as far as what we're going to be doing with Ms. Foche, I'd like to make it in a motion that we adjust her factor to 2.95 effective July 1st of her contract. Also, that she's in the need of a new automobile. She's been having this automobile for 10 years now, and it's a time that she goes back and forth to Baton Rouge for the parish of St. Bernard, and we look at safety first. So we are including in her contract a new automobile of her choice, you know, a Yugo or a...
On the state contract.
Right, state contract automobile, right.
A
State
nice
contract automobile.
SUV or another mid-sized vehicle, it'd be up to her what will best suit her particular
That's
needs
correct.
at this time, right?
That's correct, yes.
That's a motion by Mr. England. Do we have a second? Mr. Egan, second. Any discussion or any questions as we ask for a vote? Okay, vote your machines.
Motion passes 11-0, and I would just like to say thank you very much. I think it's a privilege to serve as the superintendent here in St. Bernard Parish. I think we have the finest community in the state that has showed what their true colors are within the last 10 years as we have rebuilt not only the school system but the community as a whole. So it's a privilege for me to play a role in leading with you this school system, and I appreciate every child and parent and member of this community for giving me that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Boche.
Ms. Foche, we really thank you for all your efforts over the
Right.
years.
We applaud you for all your commitment and dedication over these years since Katrina. You've brought us into a Class A group compared to other school districts in the state, and we appreciate that. The premier school district that we've become has been basically a lot of your efforts and your leadership, and of course the school board, as you know, we have been behind you consistently there in your efforts to improve education within Louisiana and also within the district of St. Bernard. And we applaud you for this, and we appreciate your efforts and appreciate you as a leader heading the superintendency in St. Bernard Parish.
Thank you.
Okay, having nothing else on the agenda, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting for the evaluation of the superintendent and their contract? Okay, we have a motion. We have a second by Ms. Aceveda. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. We stand adjourned, and we'll immediately go into the general committee meeting. We'll ask Superintendent Voce to lead us in prayer, and Ms. Dysart lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening with the purpose of asking your blessings as we make decisions that are in the best interests of our community. Guide us in the direction that you would have us go, and give us the wisdom we need to ensure a brighter and more promising future for our children. Thank you for the blessings we receive as a school district, and continue to watch over our school board family as we begin preparation for the holidays. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You call the roll, please, Ms. Voce?
Mrs. Aceveda? Here. Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mr. Egan? Mr. England? Mrs. Lemoyne?
Here.
Mrs. Dysart?
Here.
Dr. Kraft?
Here.
Dr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Nikosha?
Here.
Mr. Warner?
Okay, on the agenda, we will postpone the update on the Chalmette High accessory until next meeting, and we'll move to item 5, and Dr. Lewis will chair this. Dr. Lewis, it's yours.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft. Item 5, Believe and Prepare update. We have Ms. Lawson with us. Good evening.
Good evening. We wanted to bring you up to date on where we are with our alternate certification program that we offer in-house through the auspices of the state's Believe and Prepare program. As I'm sure you remember, last year was our inaugural year, and we offered some initial certifications in areas that are listed. We had 11 candidates, all of whom fared well for us and are back teaching with us again this year. And all of those program costs, as you know, were paid for through a grant that we received from the state to offer the program. That brings us to our second year, and we were again able to secure a grant to help us with funding for this year. And we also went to the State Department and asked for permission to expand our certification areas to include middle and high school English, early childhood, pre-K 3, and the others listed there. This year we have 25 candidates in the program. Sounds like a very large number, but we were able to fill vacancies Otherwise, we would have been crunched by the statewide teacher shortage that all of the districts are facing right now. And we were able to fill some of our vacancies with candidates for the program. And we feel like we've reached capacity at this point. It would be very difficult for us to find mentors and to provide the kinds of services that we provide to our candidates if we grow much larger than the 25. So we will probably see that number hold stable as long as we are unable to find certified teachers. We are in the process of going to the state. In fact, we expect Bessie to address in January a request for permission to provide add-on certifications. What that means is the program currently initially certifies teachers. For example, if you're a marketing major or you're an English major without having majored in education, or a history major without having sought teacher certification, and you feel like teaching is something you would like to do, we can put you through our program if you meet the requirements and offer you initial teaching certification. What we can't do today is take an elementary certified teacher and certify her in mild moderate special education or teaching students with significant disabilities. Those are called add-ons because the individual is already certified and we're asking to add on an additional certification. Those are limited in very specific areas such as special education, so we are going to the board in January asking for permission to grant add-on certifications. Because every year we are able to employ teachers who are certified in special education areas, but they don't particularly wish to go back to school after they've just graduated and pursue that additional certification, or they don't want to take the extra 21 hours, they don't want to give up 3 and 4 years of part-time college attendance seeking those certifications, even though they've been successful in the classroom and done a very good job with the children. So by asking for permission from the state and hopefully being granted that permission, we will be able to do add-on certifications in those hard-to-staff special ed areas. And we have received 2 grants, as I said earlier, one to help us with our 25 candidates and one to help us with the pursuit of the special ed add-ons that we hope will be approved. We've seen some other parishes look at us over the past year and pick up where we began and continue to add to the Trailblazing. Ascension and Caddo are now alternate providers of certification as of this year after watching what we went through and how we designed our program. We're constantly being invited to present on our program at different state meetings. And actually, one of the big funders, the Schusterman Foundation at the state level, visited, and the state brought them to talk with us about the success that we're experiencing with the program. So we have some notoriety regarding the success that we've experienced thus far, and I think as long as we keep our standards high, and especially continuing to involve some of our wonderful, wonderful teachers who are highly qualified or exceptionally proficient as mentors on a weekly basis for these candidates, I think we're going to continue to garner success with the program. Just a quick reminder, our goal is to find fully certified teachers first. But then if we have resulting vacancies for which no one is available, if we have a candidate that has a bachelor's degree from an accredited university with a cumulative GPA of 2.5 or higher, a candidate who in addition to that has passed Praxis 1 and the content area of Praxis 2, and has sat down and had a conversation and perhaps presented some ideas and portfolio information to a principal who then in turn calls us and says, I would like this person to fill my vacancies. If that's the case, then we'll put the candidate in the program. So just a reminder as to the criteria for participating in the program. We only service those individuals who will be teaching in St. Bernard Parish in vacancies for which no certified teacher is available. So just an update on where we are, some of the things we're asking for in terms of expansion from the state to help us fill a very big need in the area of special education, and to continue to grow teachers that have the same standards that we have the same high expectations that we have, and really want to come and work in a very, very nice atmosphere for teaching and learning. So just wanted to bring you that update, and if you have questions, I'll be glad to try and answer them.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lawson, for your presentation. Any questions or comments from board members? Anyone? Thank you again, Ms. Dr. Carr?
No.
Okay. Yes, great job. And thank you for your presentation, and continue the great work. Of course, like you mentioned, it's great that we are able to find certified teachers, but when we're not able to find them, to say that we have a program within the district so that we can make sure that we have a very competent, high-quality teacher in front of our kids is a great thing. So I really applaud our school system for doing it and also leading the way. So thank you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6 is an executive item. Mr. England.
Thank you, Dr. Voss. Item number 6 is a resolution regarding early testing results and test items. This was discussed at the last board meeting, but Dr. Kraft, would you like to elaborate on this? Or?
What's this on item 6?
Right, yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is the early testing. This is what you
Yeah.
asked to have on the...
Yeah, as you see in your packet is the resolution for this. Would you like me to read that into the minutes?
Well, you could if you want, but as far as if you want to wait to the regular meeting, it's up to you also.
Yeah.
Normally
Well-
at the regular meeting.
Yeah, we can wait till the regular meeting, but I think it's a resolution that works well, and we certainly want to move forward with this because, as you know, you make mistakes, you want to profit from them.
Right.
And this way, if we see the test item and we see what you have chosen as an answer and what the correct answer will be, then you can profit most. And this is why we want to insist that whoever has a state contract for testing, and there's a lot of money in testing, and we realize this, but it would not be a big increase in the cost of the test to be able to do this, because we have such high-speed computers. They can resolve data. They can change the problems around. That you still have to have a general knowledge of specifics there to be able to answer the question.
Right.
Just sometimes the numbers change means that you won't be working the same problem per se. And this is what we want to get a groundswell with other school systems around the state, with the BC Board, with legislators, that they will see the rhyme and the reason in that students need to see the test item.
Right.
They need to be able to go over it with their teachers after they have taken the test. They know what they scored on it, but to improve and be more proficient in test taking, they need to see the test item. And I think this resolution hits to this point. And if we send this to legislators, BC Board members, and other school district superintendent and board members, and get the Louisiana Association of School Boards behind it, we might even let the Louisiana Association of Business Industry take a look at this resolution, and they may find some wisdom in it themselves.
Yeah, because I remember at the last meeting, you and Ms. Dysart really wanted to put this on the agenda.
This
So we wanna put this in
is
a formal
something
motion?
we need. They're gonna say we have done this with assessment tests before, but why not?
Right,
If it benefits the students, let's move forward.
sure. So you put that in formal motion, Dr.
I
Kraft?
put that in the form of a
And
motion.
second by Ms. Dysart. Any other comments by board members or questions? If not, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, item number 7, personnel changes for December 2015. Mr. Granberry's, Ms. Lawson, you going to address this item?
Mr. Granberry had to leave a few minutes ago, but if you have questions, I'll be glad to try and answer them for you. The teacher at Chalmette Elementary has already been replaced, and he has at least 2, if not more, prospects to send on interviews for the other position that will be vacated on the 18th of the month for Chalmette High.
Okay. There's no action from the board on this item, so but if there's any questions, I know Ms. Lawson would be glad to answer them. Thank you, Ms. Lawson. Okay. Item number 8, 2016-2017 school calendar. Ms. Lawson again.
Well, I figured as long as I was up here.
Yeah.
As is our procedure, we met with representatives from the St. Bernard Association of Educators, along with some of our administrators, and looked at various options for the 16-17 school year, and decided as a committee to put the 3 options before you to a vote. I want to thank Kathy Newman, Michelle Nicholson, Shireen Dolly, Kelly Watson, who's an assistant principal at Chalmette High, Stacy Alfonso, the principal of Lacoste, for working with us as we got this done. You'll notice that there's a new kind of twist to the calendar this year, and that's a fall break. Several of our teachers had come and asked that we consider a fall break this year, and as we looked, for example, Ascension has one. St. Charles had just recently adopted their calendar. They have a fall break. Jefferson does. St. Tammany has one that corresponds with their fair. The city schools, I know many of the charter schools, Jefferson, and so it seems like something that has caught on and has been asked for by the teachers. So we put that out there, even at the expense of a day or 2 at Christmas, and the employees, if you look at the next page, have voted fairly overwhelmingly for option 2, which includes a 2-day fall break in October. The other interesting thing about the calendar, as will happen this year, we will be out for Memorial Day. We've had many requests in the past from parents who are off of work, from veterans in our community, that this is a very important day, and it would be nice if the students were out of school. All of these options get us out prior to the observance of Veterans Day in the coming year. So these are the options that were put before the employees. They voted this past week, and as a result of that vote, we are recommending that the board adopt option 2 for the 2016-17 school year. We'll give the fall break a shot and see how it works out.
All right. Dr. Kraft?
Yeah, I move that we accept option 2 as the personnel have recommended there. Looks like a good one.
We have a motion by Dr. Kraft, second by Dr. Lewis. Mr. Long?
Ms. Larson, these extra days, will that cut into our emergency days?
No.
No.
We still have the same number of student attendance days, which has emergency time built in.
Okay. Does it extend the school year?
No, sir.
No, it looks like we're getting out there.
I think we started around the
Started a
4th or
little bit
5th
earlier.
this year, and we're still in the neighborhood of that date again.
Okay.
We still have 178 instructional days. We've still got the PD, the report card conference day, the records day. It's just where we take those holidays and when we start and end.
So for Memorial Day, we'd like taking a day away from Christmas, maybe?
Yeah.
No,
Well-
we're just
26.
ending the school year
Yeah.
earlier this
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
or the beginning date. And, you know, sometimes the calendar, how it falls, you know, what day of the week these things are, help out a lot, too. For example, Christmas and, you know, those days that can, those holidays that can vary. But
Yeah.
there's been no change in the number of instructional days or anything for the student body. It's just how we would adjust them within that calendar year.
It's mine-
And built into each of the schedules is about 2.5 emergency days.
Emergency days? Okay.
Because really, by state law, you have to have 63,720 minutes of instruction.
That's
You got that number?
Oh, I have that number
Oh,
memorized.
it is ingrained.
63,720. So as, I know, that's the absurdity of it, and it's in statute. I mean, we're talking, it's actually in revised statutes of the state of Louisiana. So how we adjust it to meet those days and those minutes is how we construct the schedule. So there has been no decreased time at all in instruction. It's just options to rearrange the days around certain holidays.
Okay, thank you.
One thing I wanted to point out also that's not on here is this coming November will be the presidential election. Our students will be off that day. That will facilitate voting in our schools. We will have a PD that day, but we can not worry about people coming into the building off the streets while the students are in attendance. So the election day will be a holiday for students.
Now, Ms. Fauché, if we have a hurricane season, you know, we had a real calm one this time, but we have quite a few days off. Would the school year be extended, or would it be?
Well, what we did, depending upon how many days we would be out, like, so we have got 2.5 days built into the calendar
Right.
already. If it goes beyond that, with that 63,720 minutes, if you remember one year, what we did was we extended the school day
Okay.
for an extra maybe
All right.
10 or 15 minutes for a period of time to make up those missed days.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some options of how we would handle that if we did have a hurricane or any type of an event. Or snow day, which would shut down school.
Sure,
So-
okay, thank you. Any other questions from board members for Ms. Lawson? Ms. Lawson, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So please cast your vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson.
Thank you.
Okay, past the next items, finance, Ms. Lemoyne.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item 9 is bid tabulation for paper, cleaning, and custodial supplies. And we have Ms. Bloom with us.
Hello, good evening. We're asking for you to accept the bid tabulations for a 6-month period this year for our school board paper cleaning and custodial supplies.
So moved.
Okay, we've got a motion by Dr. Kraft, seconded by Mr. Warner. Anyone have any questions for Ms. Bloom?
Just a
Yes.
quick question. Are there any exceptions to the lowest bid, Ms. Bloom?
No, we don't
So
give
all
them
met-
except.
all met.
Right. They all did.
Thank you.
Well,
Any other questions or comments? Okay, if not, please cast your vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you, Ms. Bloom.
thank you.
Okay, and finally, the agenda item 10, superintendent's recommendations.
Nothing other than we're having lots of holiday presentations for the children. You know, Christmas shows. The Christmas show at Shellman High School Thursday and Friday night
That was
was
great.
very, very good. You know, with all of our performing groups. Each of the schools will be having their own, some at the Cultural Arts Center, some at their own schools. So please check the calendars of the children. We're going to all be participating, too, with the Christmas at Dockville this coming Saturday, which is a wonderful event, and all our schools will be on the program as well, and that is open to the public. So we've got a lot going on between now and Christmas, and then the important things, too, as well as exams, final exams for high school, and end-of-course testing, which is state assessment for the high school. And so we're very, very busy between both the academic portion and the holiday season. So please check with your school calendar for events for your children.
Okay, anyone else got anything to say before we call for adjournment? Hearing none. Mr. Okay, thank you, Mr. Gamble. Mr. Egan, motion we adjourn. I second it, I mean. Okay, appreciate that, Mr. Egan. You're right. Once you put a thumbs up, I'm gonna read it loud and clear. Okay. All in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. We do stand adjourned. Thank you very much and have a great night.